Start your day off right with the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club right here on 99.1 FM, 99 Jams.
All right, all right, all right. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. It's the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John, and this program is being brought to you as part of the New Image Project at the Community Development and Training Center, aka CDAT. And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in to help us to redefine what's cool. This is the part of the program where we ask you to tag a friend, y'all. Tag a friend and let them know that, yeah, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is on right here on WUJM 99.1 FM. And it's also on Facebook.com/Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. You can listen online at www.99jamstheberg.com, man. And we up as a part of the New Image Project. And we want to thank y'all for tuning in and joining the ride, man. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. It's a beautiful morning. Uh, it's a beautiful morning. I'm getting text messages just about the way that it's sounding over the airwaves, y'all. And so, if you're having any technical difficulties, we apologize in advance. But you can check us out again on Facebook.com/, Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. And y'all tune in, man. Tag a friend. It's What's on Your Mind Wednesday. And so you can definitely give us a call, share what's on your mind. And I'm gonna need y'all to call in because I don't know where the rest of the club are, is, or at. But we can handle this together, y'all. So we're gonna be here. We're gonna enjoy the ride. Again, it's What's on Your Mind Wednesday, and we here. Hey, good morning, sweetie. My wife watching, tuning in on Facebook Live, and always, as always, we appreciate it and appreciate you and what you do. So it's a lot of things happening in the community, a lot of stuff going on. So I'm just gonna jump right in here. Let me move this over a little bit so I can get a little more comfortable. And we're gonna talk about what's happening, man. What's going down. We gonna talk. I gotta ask Qiana here. We got some Black history. We're gonna talk about some Black African American history. What I'm finding, y'all, is that there is a difference between and we know this to be true. There's a difference between Black history and African American history, and I think it's important for us to remember that and to know the difference because a lot of times when we recite these African American history facts, we forget the context. We forget that these things happened during our sojourn um, in America in the status of it as enslaved people. And then the accomplishments that we made were in spite of that particular condition. But when you look at the history of Black people more holistically and broadly, you see we got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of years of history that predate our time and our sojourn here in what we call the wilderness of North America. Sandy, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And yeah, so what today is, man, again, it's February 22nd, 2023. So 2/22/23. And it's actually Ash Wednesday. Today is the start of Ash Wednesday. And so we want to really begin to focus. I don't know if y'all know what Ash Wednesday is. And so if you don't, I'll tell you right now. Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday is the Wednesday 6 weeks before Easter Sunday. See that? You ain't know that. So you might have did, you might not have didn't. But so Fat Tuesday is like the feast before the fast. And so yesterday was Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras season. Shout out to everybody who went to New Orleans and participated in the Mardi Gras. But Fat Tuesday is in some circles is comparable to Halloween because the actual holiday that follows Fat Tuesday is Ash Wednesday. And so the idea is you party, you have a blast, you eat, you drink, you be merry, you do all of the things that trying to get out of your system and you prepare yourself for the fast of Ash Wednesday. So Fat Tuesday is like, Ash Wednesday Eve. Y'all with me? The same thing is true for Halloween. So Halloween, the following day, November 1st, is the actual holiday or the holy day, and it's All Saints Day. And so before All Saints Day, you party, you drink, you be merry, you get it all out your system, you all of that stuff, and that's Hallows Eve is what they call it, or the holy day. You know how they say hallowed be thy name. So Hallow is the evening before uh, the holy day, just in case y'all didn't know. But Ash Wednesday, the Wednesday 6 weeks before Easter Sunday, this year is February 22nd, 2023. It is a Christian holy day of fasting, sacrifice, and prayer. Followers of Jesus of several sects and denominations, sects, 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 and denominations often forego a regular meal schedule, instead eating only one normal size meal and two very small ones over the course of a given 24-hour period, especially on Good Friday. The most devout Christians are also known to eat even less than that, limiting themselves to bread and water to signify their recognition of Christ's 40-day, 40-night fast, as recounted in the Gospels. Abstinence from alcohol is also stressed on Ash Wednesday and throughout this Lenten period. And so, yeah, that's kind of the mode, man. It's a time of purification and fasting. According to this document, the history of Ash Wednesday, it says we know that the idea that believers must repent for their lacks or misdeeds goes back over 2,000 years. But the custom of ashes on the head is a little more recent, being attributed to Pope Gregory the First, the Great, and this was like 540 to 604 AD, and it accompanied the ceremonious symbolism with the verse that loosely translate, "Remember that you came from dust, and to dust you will return." And in the 20th century, it became more common for a priest to intone, repent, and believe in the gospel. In modern times, some clergy have seen Ash Wednesday as a chance to do some guerrilla evangelism. Wow. Going out into their cities and offering ashes and putting them on passersby on sidewalks, even to drivers stopped at stoplights. The main thrust overall is that when the faithful set aside certain bodily comforts, that may settle into an attitude of penitence, recognizing their past sins and sacrifice that Jesus made to cleanse them of those sins. The physical expression of the day, administered by priests and pastors, is palm ashes on the head. They either sprinkled onto the scalp or smudged into a cross onto the forehead. We think that this is good information even for atheists, agnostics, and worshipers of other forms of faith, because Christians who bear the forehead cross leave it on throughout Ash Wednesday. So if somebody show up at work and they got ashes on their forehead today, you'll know what that's all about. They even wear it into school, they wear it into work. And so when you see it, understand where it comes from, understand what it means, and you would be able to, if you didn't understand it, you wouldn't be able to make a informed remark about what you're seeing. Plus, just think about it. You learn something new, so you can ask a friend or a coworker. But Ash Wednesday is starting off the Lent season today, and yeah, that's what Fat Tuesday the day before is all about. It's getting you ready to um, to do Ash Wednesday. Also, let's see here. I think I got a Black History fact as well for y'all and for us to share. Thank you, Sharonda. Sharonda tagging everybody. I appreciate it. Tell them wake up, get out the bed. I see Tony Wells has been tagged. There's Tasha Lee, Nakia, Charlene Thomas, you've been tagged. Ty, you've been tagged. That's so Stephanie Dot, you've been tagged. I see y'all, man. Thank you for tagging your friends and letting them know we up and we running right here with Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. So again, is in the spirit of Black History Month and African American history, I'm gonna read you a bio from Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. So Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, she is a great African American poet, author, abolitionist, and suffragist. Ellen Watkins Harper, she died on February 22nd, 1911, at age 85. Harper, along with many great abolitionists such as Frederick Douglass, William Lloyd Garrison, Henry Highland Garnett, and Susan B. Anthony, and others, um, they were members of the American Anti-Slavery Society. It was through this organization that she began publicly speaking as as an abolitionist at many of the meetings. Harper was also active in the Women's Christian Temperance Union, which had its goal to use abstinence from alcohol purity, and Christian evangelism to make the world a better place. She was also one of the founders of the National Association of Colored Women's Clubs, the NACWC, along with Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, Margaret Murray Washington, and Mary Church Terrell. On July 21st, 1986, Washington, D.C., Harper may have been most remembered for her many poems that she wrote. Forest Leaves was published when she was only 20. Lola Leroy is a novel published by her. There's Mr. Edmond in the building. Welcome to the ride, baby, baby. Let's see here. And so yeah, so they published these works back in the 1800s.
Abolitionists?
Abolitionists, yep. So you had Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, and she worked. And I like just reading this, right, because a lot of people may not know who she is, but you know who Frederick Douglass is. You heard of William Lloyd Garrison, like you heard of a lot of these other people.
Nat Turner?
This was different era. This was like the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Oh, so that was
That I think Nat Turner might have been like 1850s or something like that, but don't quote me. I think
okay, okay.
I think he was, yeah.
He was a head buster.
Yeah. He was a head buster and a trailblazer, and a trailblazer for sure. But yeah, so it's one of these little known figures in Black history because you know a lot of times the organizers and the people who actually do the work behind the scenes don't get the recognition that you know the more popular people do.
Talk about it, Brother John.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
So Frances Ellen Watkins Harper is one of those little known Black history figures.
Frances
Ellen
Watkins
Harper.
Yeah. Oh, that's 4 names.
Yeah.
I wonder was she married 4 times?
Frances Ellen might have been like the first and middle, and then Watkins Harper. You know how they do the
keep the last name.
Keep the last
That's
name.
what I was saying.
It's no hyphen in that one.
My daddy name is my daddy name, and I ain't.
Yeah, and you know, might be the only girl. I've seen that. I've seen people, you know, daughters who like, you know, their fathers didn't have sons, and so they want to keep the name going. You know, by keeping the name going.
God's will.
Yeah, keeping the name going. So just what's your thoughts on that? Just why since you
I mean, I'm
taking the last name or not?
I'm kind of like Qiana, whatever the agreement is.
Okay.
So how
it work between
how we work it out.
The parties involved.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However we kick
it. Whether you want to keep the name,
it's how we get there when we go.
Yeah. How we get there when we go. So also, man, again, I'm gonna say this again. I said it on Monday, but congratulations to everybody that's doing something positive and being a good neighbor.
Yes.
A lot of people doing a lot of positive things, man. And
it's not talked about much.
Nope.
Like Miss Frances ain't talked about much. We don't talk about the positive things that go on in our community, the positive people,
right?
That keep us going.
Yeah.
Real
deal. It's a hard thing. So tell me, speaking of positive people and being good neighbors, tell me about the hard thing, man.
So last night was the Child's Park neighborhood holiday party. We usually have a holiday party during Christmas, what have you. We didn't have that.
Okay.
So it was a must for us to keep the tradition going.
Right.
So we figured we would do something towards Valentine's Day and that day.
Okay.
But to specifically not really have nothing to do with Valentine's Day.
Okay.
This is about the heart and loving each other. Because some people don't have a Valentine. Some people lost their Valentine a long time ago.
Right.
And that just ain't them. So we parked that.
Okay.
This was about the heart, the love of the community, the love of the neighborhood association,
right?
The love of the city. It was a heart thing. So big shouts out to Sierra Clark. She's the heart ambassador. Paula, Sister Muhammad, Miss Cynthia Tomlin.
Yes.
Shawty P.
Miss Peterson. Yeah.
So I'm just naming a few.
Right.
So, but I really want to name y'all by name. Thank y'all so much for all the work y'all do in the neighborhood. Thank y'all so much for the work y'all do for Child's Park Neighborhood Association.
Yep.
And this weekend we will be having our health walk. What is it called, brother?
I think it's
the
neighborhood wellness walk.
We're having the wellness walk.
Yep.
Big shouts out to Trestlin. Big shouts out to everybody. And then we're going to the Task Force Black History event.
Okay, so it's gonna be a big weekend. Let's see here. Welcome to the ride.
Welcome to the ride.
She's handing out chairs and stuff.
No,
I appreciate you. I appreciate
I'm
you.
just gonna say, y'all good people.
Sit your black down.
Okay.
That's what she said.
We good people.
Y'all
Huh?
good people.
Okay, you want to
Well, shout out
elaborate?
to my people.
You want to elaborate
I mean,
on it?
because y'all do good work. You out here doing it for the people.
Okay.
Your brother John.
Yeah. .com.
Right. And we got the ghost here.
Yeah.
All he gotta do is know it's something happening. He gonna show up.
He really does.
And then
yeah.
he's gonna disappear and show up at somebody else's and make sure that the support
That's his
is there.
superpower.
So yes, y'all are good people. Last name, I think men should start hyphenating their name as
Man,
well.
cut that mess out.
I've seen that.
This is not.
seen that.
Listen, what this is not. This is not. That's what it's
No,
not.
you just
What?
said you subscribe with what Qiana
What-
subscribed to. Yeah, no, I heard it, man. I heard
the
it.
whole time.
I heard it.
Now how you now?
Nah,
now she
I
here,
get
now
here.
she
Now
here
you
and it's
like-
not.
Yeah, I gotta back it up.
She here and it's not. But on the
yeah,
ride,
yeah.
Qiana was right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went what Qiana said.
And then when
But
she
the
get there, it is
the
not.
two people defining it, and now you like no.
and I saw that. I saw a couple that got married, and he took her last name along with his last name.
But she got the good.
No, I mean
When
it's
he
not even.
take your last name,
They took
The
each,
goods
they
are
took
in
each
you.
other's last
No,
name.
I'm saying we take each other's last name.
Yeah.
Like,
when they didn't start this
they
mess.
do that, but you want me to tell
They
you how
probably
hard?
been
So
doing it. I
once
just
you know
first
how
time
hard it is to go and change all your information to do it.
So y'all gonna go do it together.
We go do it together because that's another like commitment that you
I
have
go with
that you know. So there you
we'll
go.
go together, but I ain't.
Yeah. you wouldn't take it.
Ah, Sway.
You wouldn't hyphenate the middle name.
Ah,
like
Sway.
that? Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
I got
telling you,
a
I
very
thought it was pretty cool.
I got a
I
very
think it's
I
quite
got a
dope.
very amazing middle name from like the Middle Easterns.
You just be like, for instance,
You
when
didn't.
talk
Nobody
about
said that you had to drop your middle
you
name.
have full names.
But you can't replace this middle name. My middle name is Jerome.
okay,
You know how many powerful Jerome? Y'all think Jerome and Rome was Rome? No,
Roman Rome.
Jerome is a magnificent
That's the federal. That's the chair of the Fed.
Jerome Powell. Just stand back. Just stand back. Hold on. And then we got Jerome and Rome, the player from the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So ain't nobody told you to drop
You can
Jerome.
still be Jerome. You just be Jerome.
You-
Jerome Jenkins Edmonds. Right.
Right, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hard no.
A hard no. Okay.
It's a hard no, y'all.
That's a preference.
It's gonna be a hard no for me.
It's gonna be a hard no.
Uh,
It's gonna be a hard no. No, I get it. Lot of good stuff going on too, y'all. So
Oh yeah, let me mention Urban Drinker last night was the spot.
Okay.
Big shouts out to Misha and Keisha, the twins. Misha had her book release.
okay.
Yeah, good stuff.
The sister.
Yes, the two twin
They
sisters.
come to Urban.
Yep, 620. I
Okay.
think they work or are part of the 620 team.
the studio
Studio
at 620.
at 620. Big
Okay,
shots out
okay.
to Bob Devin Jones and the whole team, twins,
Right.
all y'all.
Right.
Keep up the good work.
Okay, so let me tell you this. I want you to go to the bottom of the page. I want you to share it. Once you share it, I want you to comment and say, wake up somebody, tag some people for
Wake
us. Please, once you tag it, send us some stars because I enjoy
Mhm.
watching y'all comments
Yes.
and reading them.
We do.
And so I'm hoping y'all enjoy listening to us. So what better things is to send us some stars? If you never sent stars before, say Facebook give you 200 for free.
Yeah.
Send them
Chinga,
to us.
chinga, blinga,
They're a
bling.
centerpiece. The more you spend, the cheaper they are. We also are doing a marathon here at the radio station.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
It is. We'll pin the donation button on there. I'll get it in 1 second.
Okay.
Go ahead, donate. Once you donate, do let them know it's a part of the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. We are raising $2,000. I'm not gonna say trying
Yep.
because we are raising
Really doing
$2,000.
We're
We're not at the end of the race, but I can see the sunshine at the end.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna keep on. We're gonna keep on running this race and get this money on in for the station. Right.
That's
so
right.
there go my announcements.
Hey, Kid Love. That's my
Hey.
daughter. My
Yeah.
daughter watching. You up early this morning. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Also, Reimagine at Water, a panel discussion is happening this evening.
Yeah, I will be sitting on that panel discussion.
I think I might be sitting next to you.
You goddamn shoulder to shoulder. We do that.
I think I might be.
Do that. Big shots out to
What
Dr.
time?
Butler and the team.
It's at 6:30, from 6:30 to 9:30. So in conjunction with the month-long gallery show, Reimagine,
Mhm.
there will be a panel discussion in the Thule Levine Gallery. that features some of the visiting artists, community advocates, and family members that have been impacted by the criminal legal system. Again, that's tonight from 6:30 to 9:30. Thule Levine Gallery at the Arts Exchange on the Deuces Corridor. The Reimagine exhibit actually opened up on Saturday, I want to say. It opened up on February 11th. And it's basically a collaboration between the Well for Life, the Green Book, and artists Alfred Cleveland, Catherine Weaver, Anthony and Christopher Williams, F. Axon, Mr. Edmund, David Lee Watson, and they all will be sharing works that combine storytelling, dream weaving, healing, and envisioning new worlds and futures.
Yeah.
See, and it's on display. Yeah, it's on display. So you got some artwork in there.
Yes, I've been into photojournalism, taking pictures of the community events.
Right.
So I put together a small collection in conjunction with the DVD I made back in 2016. St. Pete the Bird, One City, Two Worlds.
Right.
So I have pictures that illustrate, the amazing, complex beauty and contradictions in the city of St. Pete.
That's spoken like a real
artist. Yeah, you like that. You like that. You see how I did that?
Beauty, complex contradictions. I listen to words.
Yes, and really, it has been inspired from a documentary that we did, 909 Films and One Love Magazine did, and we partnered with USF. It was one of the first times that I had worked with the Neighborhood News Bureau.
Okay.
They were headquartered out of Enoch Davis Center. Professor Moto, if I'm not mistaken. Moto.
If you said it, I wouldn't know.
Bernard Moto. Okay. You remember Bernardo?
Bernardo. That's what I always called him.
You remember him? Yeah. But so long story short, it's amazing.
Yeah, Bernard.
Yeah.
Cut it. You cut it. But long story short, so we're also going to be having a sneak peek of the photos also at the Black Art and Film Festival.
Okay.
Starting the 23rd through 26th.
So that's tomorrow night. So the 23rd is tomorrow. It comes quick, right? He's saying it like you got time.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Tomorrow is
starting tomorrow. So tonight.
This is why he a ghost. I'm telling you, this is why he a ghost. I appreciate it.
Listen, tonight you can start it off at Reimagine at the Arts Warehouse District, Water.
Yeah, Water.
If you get it right. And then we're going to continue it on down to the Factory St. Pete with the Black Art and Film Festival from the 23rd through the 26th.
And the kickoff is tomorrow night. I like reading this because I know Cran wrote it. Join us for an enchanting evening of light mixing and mingling in the beautiful ambience inside of St. Pete's, one of St. Pete's newest hotspots for a unique liquid experience on the Deuces. Also, I don't know what a liquid experience is.
You get drunk. You get drink. We do what they call virgin cocktail.
So that's
you get loose.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Loose as caboose.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know what a unique liquid experience was, but now that you say it just sounds like you getting toe up. That's basically what it says when they get drunk.
Everybody don't get drunk.
You know what?
You're having a liquid experience.
Yes, it can be. You
just
drink
flow.
aloe vera.
Okay, so here you go. No, you're having a liquid experience. You're going with the flow.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, so like liquid is fluid.
Yes,
Okay, so you just go. Okay, so it ain't like give me two of them liquids over there, and I'm gonna mix them together and have an experience.
It's your interpretation of it.
Okay, so however you interpret liquid experience. All right, just I want y'all to interpret it right. So for people who have
just show up.
Yeah, just pull up. Liquid or not.
But yes, just show up. Come out, have a good time. I'm going to drop the link inside the chat. Visit, buy tickets, come support. There's a lot going on. We just was talking about those people who got a lot going on, doing it for the community. Big shots out to them.
Real deal. So
I have a question. Go ahead, read the comments.
No, Damien said I sounded like Joe Mama Johnson on that one.
That's real now.
I did.
That's real. That's how we do it.
And then MAW Custom Collections tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Andre Woodbury. Damien said you had your coffee this morning, huh?
Skirt.
Get the coffee.
He called. He is kind of cold.
No, I did not have my coffee.
Let me tell you. Now this is the first.
Yeah.
Jabbar called me this morning.
Oh yeah, this is
Oh,
the
that
first.
was okay.
So Brother John, so this how the story go, right?
Okay.
So boom, Qiana be calling me, waking me up, like blah, 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 blah. Hey,
Wake
you
up,
coming?
everybody.
Yeah. So boom. So I'm like, okay, it's past. Hold on, it's past her time.
Right.
Let me hold on, check on my dog. What you doing? What you gonna do?
Yeah. Wake up.
What you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna be late. Okay, me too.
Okay. Right.
We work that out. I was gonna
Mhm.
call you, right? But I just said, Brother John is already on a whole nother clock.
Yeah.
You was probably here at 6:45.
No.
No
Actually,
problem.
I'm gonna hop back on his clock, right? Because
Let's jump back
Yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
hop back on.
7 a.m. That's when we
Yeah.
start, y'all.
So 7 to 9, y'all.
So I
7
have
a.m.
a-
sharp.
Tampa
okay.
Bay Breakfast Club.
Care
7
Fest
a.m.
Radio.
This is what happened. We have a meeting on radio.
Just really real deal.
But okay, so I have a question because I didn't make it Monday
Okay.
to the
You didn't
press
make it?
conference. To the press conference.
Oh
Okay.
yes, at the
How
Uhuru.
did
Okay.
that go?
So we was at Aquaba Hall,
Mm-hmm.
at the historic, illustrious, Uhuru House,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And the press conference was concerning the funding that had came down from the federal government that got stopped at the county commission level through different commissioners.
Yeah.
And the situation, honestly, goes back to, like we say, we honor Black History Month, and we got pictures of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and there is historic, Black figures living amongst us
Right.
that we're not honoring. They have organizations, they have radio stations and newspapers,
They're
and
buying up the block.
it's
They're
openly-
housing. They're feeding people.
go ahead. Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
just
That's
saying,
what they
there's a
said.
lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going
Health,
on.
wellness, fitness, all the stuff they talking about. These people, the first Black people I know, they had a gym.
Yeah.
The Tyrone Lewis gym used to be on Melrose, right? So
Mhm.
like that was back in the game. That was
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So long story short, 99 Gems, Care Festival Radio, Catholic Breakfast Club want to support that community radio matters, Black radio matters. These airways are like coveted positions in different cities, and for us to be a part of it and to help us maintain, so we lock hands and we're here together. It's no 96.3
Yeah, we not
versus
radio beefing.
I'm gonna-
no,
no,
it's, we're together, like
So
literally.
let me kind of paint this picture for our listeners too. It's about democracy. You might not have to
You
agree.
did see the doggone thing. It is about democracy.
No, I didn't say it, but it's about democracy. You know what I mean? And
That's real,
everything.
though.
And so you want fairness when you come in there, and we
Yeah.
talk about this all the time, and then we're being unfair to each other.
Yep, and equity.
You want me to say it's equity. It's so like when you think about it, when we put if I paint a picture, when you put stuff on the ballot, and I go and talk to people about putting it on the ballot, it may not be something you believe in, but it is something that the people should decide.
Right.
Right. And so it's about one day you may have something that I might not agree in, but I also think just because I don't like it, the people should decide what it is.
Let the people
So
decide.
it's
real,
about
man. That's real.
democracy, and you
That's
don't
real.
have to be in there. And you should, so yeah, we need to keep that in mind
And
when
we
we're
got-
out there.
And we got to understand some people's democracy, has Black people at the bottom.
Ooh.
Right? So when we know what I'm saying, we got know what I'm saying? And they talk about colonialism and those different things, but you got to think about it. Some people's vision of democracy is with us, towing the plow or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reality is that this community has always been able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Yeah, we resilient for sure.
Right?
We
The
are.
history of St. Petersburg shows that not only were we a civil rights city, it's still 2 Black-owned FM radio stations, Black run, not just Black-owned or Black ran, but also, it's only happened in places like Atlanta,
Right.
Chicago,
Right.
right? We're in the deep, deep South, and it's because of organizations like the Uhuru, the African People's Socialist
Party.
And this is when we get together and link up. You don't have to like the messenger to agree with the message.
Right.
Okay. You know what I mean? You
throw the message out because
Right.
you don't like the
you
message.
throw the baby, you throw the baby out with the water. You know what I mean? We talk about
For
this
real, go
all
get the
the-
baby.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So like, wrong is wrong, right is right, and this is wrong. They can't go through the process, get approved, get the money, and then now you see who's getting the money and be like, no,
we made a mistake.
we made a mistake. No,
and then change the rules. They
and
actually
then you change the rules.
Yeah.
You change the rules after you. So this is like the voting.
Wow.
Listen,
this is like the voting. Now pay attention, people.
Yeah.
This is like the voting. You go register to vote, and then they send you a registration card and say you have been approved to vote in Florida, and then you go vote and they send you to jail. This is the same thing. So I'll tell you right, this abuser starts off small. They push you. They don't start off punching you in your face. You know, they do a slightly push. Them taking this money from them is a slight push.
Okay.
Right. And then, but you know, to see how much you will take.
No, that's right.
And then the next thing you know, they say, oh no, go apply to get your voter registration. All the hard work we did and get people to trust us.
They all
to
up
go
on your
out there,
couch.
do that, and to get the felons to trust the system, and then the system bite them. And this is the start right here. Taking something that was given, and they did the right process.
Yeah. And what
So
you
keep
said,
that in mind.
and you said, see how much they will take, but I think it's seeing how much we will take as a community.
This is true.
Because if the way that
And when
they
I
do
say
it,
they, I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But one of the things that I want to like frame this as, and we were talking about this also as a part of this press conference. A lot of these things that they do to our Black organizations are not isolated or just limited to the Black organization, because the Black organization speaks for a segment of the people. Like they might not speak for all the people, but there's a part of our community that relies on them for that voice and for that advocacy and that brand of advocacy. And those are the people who you don't see. You might not see them. They're not at all of the meetings, but when they hear them speak, it's like, yeah, I feel like that too. And so when they talking about how they're going to take it from that organization, there's other people who support that organization who are also being attacked. And so that's why I thought it was important to be there to support, because we're talking about communications and communications. The whole New Image Project, the whole point of this project was for us to be able to put out information, media, arts, graphics, and entertainment. And that's what they're doing. And so and so when they're doing that part of the work, and then they apply for the funding, like, you know, that's how they do it. They give us the rules, they give us the system, and say, okay, if you want to get this money, this is how you do it. They did all of those things. And then once they get it, then they look and say, oh no, well, we're going to change the rules and change the policy. I don't think that's fair.
And this is when unity needs to happen.
And
we
that's
talk
what
about
happened.
it in the community all the time, how we need to stick together. This is when we need to mount up. Power Rangers.
Listen, no lie. It was a big deal for me, because when I'm sitting there and I was thinking about, you know, the gravity of what's going on, you know, during Black History Month. You know, you have a historic Black organization, that has been historically disenfranchised. What they call it, they alienate,
marginalized,
just all the words, and then you have, you know, other community members, stations, and organizations saying, hey man, go help them. Go stand side by side with them on our behalf, because we are not going to just watch that happen. Even though we didn't have the funds, we weren't even involved with the funding. That was big to me.
All right, Carlos, what's on your mind Wednesday? What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey man, what the business is? You brother Reno more in the building.
That's good, King Reed.
What it do, what the business is.
Welcome to the
Hey
ride.
man,
What's
I'm
on your
just
mind?
saying, man, it's sad at me to be at that press conference, man, and hear the young lady drop another Black woman name as being a opponent of the grant itself. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the worst things, and I'm glad that people can hear me in the city right now, some of the worst things that we're doing to each other is done to each other under the banner of I'm just doing my job. Right?
Wow.
And it's real slanderous what we do to each other, and we're just doing it to put food on our table, right? And to hear the young Black woman, Qiana, call out another elected Black woman, it's sad at me, because now you're listening to Black on Black violence. Right? You listen to a Black organization that's putting a lot of. First of all, let me back up a little bit. Ooh, y'all, if you can hear my voice, it means freedom.
It means freedom.
Let's start right there. Yeah. What's with your consciousness when you're stopping the organization called freedom? right? And then you're a black woman or a black man, right? So it's freedom that they're fighting for in your complexion, and you're being an opponent to them. This is what we're saying when we say that their education is working to perfection inside of us, right? Because their education makes us counterproductive to each other. This is the face of it. Peace and light, y'all.
Peace, peace.
That was a good fallback.
That's a good fallback. Way to fall back. But you listen to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, the 99 Jams morning show right here on WUJM 99.1 FM. And the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And we need your support, y'all. We're in our fundraising drive, so you can go to www.99jamsthebird.com. If you'd like to give a donation, please feel free to do so. Like the page, share the page, tag a friend, tag a friend. Did I say tag a friend?
Hey, tag a friend.
And if you can't tag them, call them and just tell them wake up. Listen to us in the radio.
Real talk. Real talk. Also, on Saturday the 25th, the opening of the Florida Civil Rights Exhibition is happening at the St. Pete Museum of History. So, like I said, we've been saying this the whole time. This Black History Month in St. Pete has been
listen,
lit.
Listen, and then
we've been swinging and banging.
We need to keep this going.
And some of the best parts that I particularly like about it is that some of these organizations don't necessarily have Black oriented or themed things.
Right.
But I have a controversial look at some of this stuff, and I want to share it before the end of the year.
All right. It's What's on Your Mind Wednesday. Caller, you're on the air. What's on your mind? Are you there?
All right, call back.
All right, call back after I say this. So I went to Mississippi.
Okay.
They do the walk from Jackson, Mississippi to
Where is that?
Is it Alabama?
Alabama, yeah.
Okay.
Birmingham.
Let's take this call real quick. Caller.
Good day. What's up, family? It's JB.
JB, what business?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
New call for new thinking.
You already know. I'm glad I get to chime in. Sharonda actually tagged me in, and I was good. I got to listen to some of it. And I want to kind of just tackle a little bit about what you talked about earlier, Qiana, about the messenger. And I think there is truth in that, right? But we're all guilty of that as well. So if you got somebody that you know that you are, and this is what I think our problem is in the bird, one of them at least, is there are some messengers out there that we have a hard time trusting based off of their track record. And then we're expected to just accept and believe what they're saying without having a side eye. And I just don't think that's realistic. We got to learn how to rebuild that trust.
JB,
yeah.
And then the ones we supposed to be side-eyed, we ain't. It's like we got it backwards as heck.
Yeah, just because they have, and that's part of once because they are in the ears of the people that get to make the decision, et cetera, we're kind of forced to have to believe them. So it puts us in like a very weird situation because, like Brother Reno said, you don't want to have the quote unquote black on black, but that's what it is.
Did I do that?
JB, we're gonna give you a good comment, man. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah, that's new. Don't used to do that.
That's new, but you can call back.
But JB had an amazing point.
Yeah. Tell us hey,
oh no, it may have been time for you to keep kicking that game. Call back, JB.
Yeah.
Jason Bright, new thing.
No, good. I like what he said because you have to put all that in perspective as well.
It's all in.
I think for me, and this is just it's something I learned in the nation, right? It's where we put our attention. Where our attention goes, your energy flows, and our focus flows. And if the attention is on the messenger, then we side eye, we got to do deeper investigation. And of course, credible messengers matter. Like all of that stuff is
all
real.
That does
matter. However, the other part of it is the message. And I think what happens, because like JB said, we forced to believe it. I would respectfully disagree with that. We ain't forced to believe it. I think we should double click on it. And what happens is, I think our messengers have been prompted up. If you disagree with them, that's when you get in trouble. Whoa. That's the sore spot.
That's when I get in trouble.
So it's like
that's when you get blackballed. That's when
that's when the snow start rolling, because it's like I can respect you as a person, as a human being, but I can also disagree with you. Like I have the
It's
right to
kind of,
disagree.
no,
you know what it is? It's kind of like the bully
Don't be
method.
scaring people and stuff.
It's kind of like the bully method. Like
It is the bully method,
you know,
not
like
kind of.
so it's like, hey, believe what I say, do what I do, and then even though I might rock with you, but if I don't do it the way you want me to do it, now it's a problem.
And see, I think like this, because we do have a situation where we have
And
people.
JB say facts, brother John.
We have people that are like bigger than life, like holier than thou.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going to mention no names or professions, but there are people in our community that what they call is above reproach. They can't be corrected, and especially not for someone that they feel is beneath them.
I almost just want to disagree with that because it ain't nobody in our community that way, but that's how they feel.
But no, I'm telling
yeah.
you about the reality, because you can't say certain stuff that's a factual thing to a person too wrong.
We're gonna continue this conversation on the B side. I want to take this caller you on the air. You got like 60 seconds.
Okay.
What's going on? What's going on? I can get this in 50 seconds. Is that like Granny?
Yes,
What's
sir.
going
Yes,
on?
sir. Damian Davis, what's good with you?
I want. What's good, my brother? Glad to see you this past weekend. I just want to know. Just wanted to state it on what Qiana said. That's definitely one of my sayings. Don't look at the messages. Just get the message, because a lot of these people be looking into the situation and don't get the message.
Thank you, Dave. We're gonna get back to the business with the business. Up there. You can't figure that out on one. Don't worry about that. Listen, leave a comment. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna come back on the B side.
Yeah, on the B
Just
side.
know when you call, you got 30 seconds to say whatever you got to say. Then B is coming.
So look, on the B side, we're gonna continue this conversation about the message and the messenger. How about that? The message and the messenger. And we'll be right back about 7 minutes after the hour. We're gonna put on some Democracy Now. For those who are on Facebook, you actually get to learn a little bit more about the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, something that you probably didn't know. So we're gonna put that on now, and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Gabe Ortiz, and this is WEDU Arts Plus. Based out of St. Pete, the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is a morning radio show about hip-hop life and urban culture. Meet the hosts who inform and empower their listeners.
I'm Jabbar Edmond. I go by Mr. Edmond. My role, I'm a host and I'm co-founder.
My name is Brother John Muhammad, your brother John, yourbrotherjohn.com. And my role on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club is host or co-host.
I just go by Qiana. Sometimes you may hear the guys call me Q. I may say Q just depending on my personality that day. And I'm the female of the crew. I think I keep balance when you look at the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. So that's my role.
And I'm Bruce Moore Jr. A lot of people do know Bruce Moore Jr., obviously being born and raised here and going to school here, but there's many more people that know Reno.
St. Pete is small, and so the good things and bad things that come with a small city, everybody knowing each other, of course, would be one of the pluses.
My neighbors were not only just my neighbors, they became my family.
Trying to put that back now, like really getting back to a place where we know our neighbors and we look out for each other. It was a St. Pete that existed, south of Central, and then there was another St. Pete that existed north of Central and downtown. It was a struggle then, and I think it's still, somewhat a struggle for Black people in the city of St. Pete.
Even with every step of progress we make, it's still a struggle to, implement that progress.
Did y'all hear about the weed college, the first cannabis college
in Orlando?
Talk to us, Soprano.
No, yeah, I've been looking at it.
This is serious, y'all.
Over a year ago.
If you got the charges, go and get the degrees, King. You got years of experience, man. It ain't like you come into a classroom with no data.
Elon Musk said that a drug dealer knows how to manage and run a business better.
I can't believe that.
The real facts, man.
I'm all about education. But what I'm saying is that we carry this industry on our backs.
The way we started the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, Jabbar approached me about what could we do, how can we do something together, and then an opportunity to promote Amendment 4. Amendment 4 is the, voting rights restoration to returning citizens. We were able to negotiate a deal where we got like 30 minutes on the radio at 99 Jams to talk about, Amendment 4 and other local, policies.
Rockets killed 6 people at a bus station.
To returning citizens. We were able to negotiate a deal where we got like 30 minutes on the radio at 99 Jams to talk about, Amendment 4 and other local, policies and politics. Enjoyed it, so we started doing it on Sundays as like a podcast with, at the time, Janet Michelle. She was our co-host and she, filled that role until she moved. And then we had Carla Bristol, Carla B. She came in for a season. And then Reno was behind the scenes. He was always present because we did organizing together, so he'd come and hang out. And then the things that he was saying off camera was like, man, we might as well just have you on the show.
The negative thoughts that you is thinking about right now, or any particular subject, y'all, just flip it.
Turn problems into opportunities.
Problems are opportunities, man. Big shouts out to Sauce and Predo, man.
Real deal, man.
We on the jump board together right now. Just being around people and clearly always talking, I just felt like at least learn something, so as you see that you're not going to shut up, you can have substance to your conversation and not just be labeled somebody who just love to talk.
Really being informative, looking to give the information that isn't readily available in our community.
Multiple meteorologists can look at the same data and come up with a different forecast.
And so now you take those models, take that data and say, okay, based upon all of that,
absolutely,
you might be in between here and there, and that's my know what I'm saying speech.
Most recently, after Carla B, transitioned out and went to do other things as well, Qiana, we invited Qiana.
I've been working with the guys for a while outside of this, and they called me to interview. And when I came in to interview that Sunday, after the show, they was like, hey, you need to be a part of the show. And I was like, okay.
I look at it almost like a band and the instruments, but it's just the instrument that we're using is our voices.
My voice is already kind of squeaky. I know my voice can get squeakier.
You have to have your radio voice on and have that vocal control.
I talk lower when I need to calm it down. And when I'm very passionate about it, I slow it down. And because I want you to understand what I'm saying.
What's good for the geese is good for the gander. So if you keep it secrets, just know that she can too.
Okay, hey, see that's why Qiana, that's why you need it on the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. You feel? Because you gonna even things out. You know what I'm saying? I was just joking. You know what I'm saying?
We just understand power, and in terms of people's attention, because it costs. People's attention costs. That's why it's called pay attention.
We want to present local information right up there with, the trending topics.
One thing that's a common denominator with all of us is that we're all passionate about our people.
For me, what you take from me is that I'm real and I'm passionate about the growth of our people.
The overall goal, I would say, is to have a more informed community around electoral politics.
Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See that.
And we would like to thank y'all for tuning in, helping us to redefine what's cool. What's good?
Oh yeah, what's good is we're back on the air.
Yes, we are.
You're ready for this second hour.
Yep, up and running, man. Like I said, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And you can catch us a few ways. You can do it on Facebook.com/Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. You can go to 99thebird.com online, and you can also listen in your car. I think you can listen to TuneIn Radio app too. So you go to TuneIn Radio app and look for WUJM 99 Jams the Bird. Yeah.
Right. So, and then if you missed it, you can always go back and replay.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Si se puede. Yes, we can. So we were talking about these community events and some things that's coming up. Again, tonight at 6:30 at Tully Levine Gallery at the Arts Exchange on the Deuces Corridor. There will be a panel discussion, Reimagine at WADA. And then on the 25th, this opening of the Florida Civil Rights Exhibition. And on the 28th, the African American Heritage Association will also be hosting a closeout Black History event at Urban Drinkery, y'all. So make sure that y'all stick and stay for it, man. Black Arts and Film Festival is kicking off tomorrow at the Wayward Walls at the Factory. Friday is something happening. Friday night is something happening with the documentary and indie shorts and a visual arts display. Saturday, the Black Arts and Film Festival Indie Professional Workshops. Also, their feature films, music videos, and web showcase on Saturday. And Sunday is Black Art and Excellence Filmmakers Brunch and Mixer. Features and indie shorts. Man, this is a packed schedule, man.
Yes, it's amazing.
Friday, I'm gonna be at Urban Ink.
Yeah,
Urban Ink.
Big shout out to Urban Ink.
Yeah,
paint and sip.
Oh man, the brain.
Yeah,
the brain.
So you know he's DJing my next event.
I think you told me that at Urban
Always need to
Drinkery.
get brain out the cut, man. You know what I'm saying? A
Get him
genius.
on the ones and twos.
You should be honored to be around a genius. You know what I mean? Some people
That's
just don't
real.
respect knowledge and don't respect it. You know, people genius. You know what I'm saying? And big shouts out to Brain though, man, for what he's doing, man. It's gonna be it's not a grand opening, but he's
It's the third year of Urban Ink.
Third anniversary.
Yeah, it's the third year. I remember the first year, like when did the grand opening. Yes, 3 years. Swinging and banging. That's my new thing right now. Swinging.
It sounds so funny to hear you on the air because you said it last time, right? Now I was on the way in. It's like listen to cute little boy talking about some swinging and banging.
Listen, swing the bang. Okay, yes. The community career and resource fair held by St. Pete Works will be held today, February 22nd, 2023, from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. St. Pete Works Collaborative. They're gonna have on the spot interviews, educational resources, mobile medical services.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all need to really pull up the hill. This is going to be held at the James B. Sanderlin Center on 2335 22nd Avenue, South St. Petersburg, Florida. That's 2335 22nd Avenue South, 9:30.
And I'm gonna say this.
So that's today.
Yes, 9:30 to 12:30 at the Sanderlin Center.
Right.
Today. Tell them the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club sent you.
So I'm gonna say this. We talk about in our community about like the resources and stuff. Within the last 6 months, we have had some real career opportunities come into our neighborhoods for us. You know, Harold them did it at PTech.
Right.
Did Tony them did it at PTech again, and now we have this. So listen, people here is trying to change lives. We talk about a livable wage. People are trying to give people this. Please come and take it. We don't want to force feed you.
But listen,
come to the table and get this food. Get this good job. Okay?
On the serious tip, there is opportunities that has to meet the people, because a lot of times, and that's why we started this program, right? To let people know about opportunities that we know that wasn't meeting or going to the places that they needed to be in.
Right.
So we figured out a way to kind of, disseminate information and opportunities.
When I first got on social media, I was like, I said to myself, like, man, I think it's cool to be like a Paul Revere in the community. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool to join along with some brothers that feel the same way. You know what I mean? And if you're not familiar or just don't forgot about Paul Revere, he was just riding through the hood saying the red coat's coming, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Like you say, ride through the hood.
He was just sliding through his hood, man, saying the red coat's coming, the red coat's coming. And so, but he was just being informative, basically. And when I came on social media, the one thing that I wanted to focus on was to be informative to the people who I call myself my homies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My dogs, the ones I love. And I just think that that's a big thing, because we kind of diving into the messenger right now.
No, it's real. No, you real well. I'm laughing because I seen the TikTok. kind of different than Paul Revere, but he was. The police was about to come in and kick in, and he in there. The police. And you know,
oh man,
that's kind of Paul Revere.
That's really what Paul Revere was.
That's Paul Revere.
I got
The red coats was
I had Rambo.
So Paul Revere was a lookout.
Listen, Paul Revere was that was the law. The
I
red
had
coats was the
Rambo.
law.
I had Rambo to shut up kid me one time, man. True story, man. You know what I'm saying? I was living in a log cabin down the street now, close to 4th Street from Quickies, and really from Metro. And Green Team jumped out, you know what I'm saying? It was like some apartments right next door, like 2 doors down. And you know, I'm like 7 years old, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, the Green Team, you know what I'm saying? Shut up, kid.
Yeah.
Shut up, kid. I'm talking for real.
That's your
And I'm
Green
like,
Team.
you know, I know who he was because you know everybody was word of mouth who Rambo was and how he looked. So I already knew the description. It was really, really funny though.
Wow.
You
Paul
Paul
Revere,
Revere,
y'all.
y'all.
Absolutely,
Not-
man. Let the
not
people know,
knowing
man.
it.
Let the people know. That's what 5%ers do.
That's right.
Mhm.
Pro-righteous teachers, man. So speaking of opportunities, since we're just going to continue that way, so there's a new flight training scholarship that's available at Albert Whitted Airport. So Friends of Albert Whitted Airport, they're offering flight training scholarship for area youth 16 to 24. These scholarships will help committed young flight students in that age range to achieve your private pilot rating, which is the first step in an aviation career. You can actually get more information about what they'll be doing by going to www.love4awa.com, and you can get these information about these scholarships. The applications have to be submitted by Friday, March 17th. And again, they're looking for minority students who are historically underrepresented in the aviation and other science and technical fields, aka our people, especially young girls as well. They're underrepresented in aviation as well. So,
And you know who else doing good things? Story.
yes, Story 727.
Yeah, Story 727. If you have a youth that's looking for a job, they actually are hiring youth right now.
Okay.
And they have a program, they're being paid. And I know they're still looking for youth. They're from 16 to 21, I believe.
I don't know.
It's somewhere around there. It may be up to 24, and I know they have some wiggle room. So if you know a youth that maybe need to be redirected or is already going on the right path, and you just want to give them other opportunities, Story 727.
That's what's
Man,
up.
big shout out to Story 727
Hey,
doing their thing.
You just you brought in the story with who, Brother Jonathan?
Albert Whitted.
Albert Whitted, yeah, the Friends of Albert Whitted Airport.
So big shouts out to the friends, right? Because a lot of people are not familiar with this kind of process, but if you don't want to join your neighborhood association, right? But you want to join, like you want to be friends of neighborhood associations, you have some of the same things that you can do. And so this is pretty dope, but it's not actually Albert Whitted, but it's the friends of Albert Whitted that's actually doing it.
Yep.
And so big shouts out to the friends, man.
Friends of like, so you have the libraries usually have like friends of, so like how you got Kevin Johnson, friends of the Johnson Library. I think there's like friends of the South Branch Library. So they have like these groups that support the mission of.
Let's say Florida Rising.
Okay.
Right. You have people that are members of
Okay.
Florida Rising,
Florida
and then
Rising.
you have people that are friends of Florida Rising.
Okay.
Like they still support, but they're not members of it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's a model. Absolutely.
I don't know if that counts.
No, I'm just saying. Only reason why
You might not agree with the association president and what they got going on in Bartlett Park. You know what I'm saying? And so you have the ability to create the friends of Bartlett Park's neighborhood association.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's being done with Albert Whitted Airport. It's not Albert Whitted Airport. It's saying, hey guys, come on in. It's the friends of, and it's a G thing. It's a real connection. So they're like people just stomping on people property. You know what I'm saying? The wrong way. But just understand that there's more than one way to skin a cat, y'all. You know.
So when you say the friends, like when I think of it, it's kind of like, hey, I might not show up to every party, but this is a good party.
Right.
So I'm showing up to this one, and I'm going to tell everybody else. But then the parties that I don't want to show up to, I just don't.
And I show
And
up
I'm
to
not
every
committed.
party.
Yeah, but you know,
I'm a friend of everybody.
You know what I mean? Right. You are, because you can be a friend of everybody without being.
Be careful.
But no, but listen.
but that's how. This is how you stay safe.
But look, that's what Mama said though. Everybody ain't your friend.
But listen, I want to return back to what Reno was saying about the Friends Association. So you can have Friends of Gibbs. You can have the Gibbs Friends of St. Petersburg Youth, right?
Yeah.
Friends of Child's Park, right? So there's the Child's Park Neighborhood Association. In theory, we can have the Friends of Child's Park, a whole nother organization looking to help us and give us money, help fundraise. So we got to be more watchful because some people don't want to be a part of the traditional organizations,
or they don't have the time.
You can be the friends of that organization or help the
when you
cause.
said award, when you said award or something, you trigger something that you guys were talking about earlier before I got on the show. And this is Cara Festa Radio, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we ask for donations all the time, y'all. And that's what Uhuru got. They got a donation from the federal government, man. It was awarded to them in a grant, man. It's weird to watch the things that are unfolding, but I promise you, when you think about our situation and how we is and where we're sitting at in this real life game of Monopoly, as Dr. Claude Anderson like to call it, it's not weird because it's been happening the whole time we've been breathing. It's just we're older, you know what I mean? Because if we was 21 right now in the city, we would be behaving and we would not see the same things that we're saying right now because we'll be at that level. So that's what they say is nothing new. The same things that that we're passionate about right now, it was 45 and 48 and 42-year-olds and 38-year-olds in the city that was just equally as passionate.
And we call them them.
Them
and they, right? Them, like they not gonna let this happen. They don't like it was. We would always put them as the responsible
until it became
party,
us.
until we became them.
Right.
Until it became us.
I heard a video, y'all, man. Talking about the messenger. I heard a video. A young lady was pouring into how she was being treated in Tampa.
Okay.
And she's like to be because she said why black women keep laughing at her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? She says I've never seen so many beauty stores in any city in my life that I've been around.
So what she owner of a business?
No,
store?
she's just a black woman that's just dark skin with glasses, and she was like, the video was like, I've never been laughed at by so many black women until I came to Tampa, Florida.
Mm.
And she just highlighted how many beauty stores in Tampa, Florida. You know what I mean? And then this is Florida. And y'all don't even stand up for how y'all children being educated right now. But y'all got such energy for other things.
Yeah.
And it's like for people to look at us this way. Remember, this Lord, this is Florida.
WTF,
you know?
Welcome to Florida.
Welcome to Florida. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but the frequency that kind of operates our community when we switch lanes and make it about us for real. Because I hear voices in our community.
Right.
A loud voice in our community is how you can't try my kids and I do anything for my kids. And it's like the actions, how our children are being attacked through education and other ways, it ain't matching.
We can't get you in the school board meeting. We can't get you to bend the corner. We can't get you to bend the corner.
You ain't gotta like me.
So what I heard you say,
but if it's smoke,
so what I heard you say was that we have energy to protect our children from things that go on outside of the system. But when it comes to protecting our children within the system, like the school board and
we don't talk to each other.
They turn in.
It's an internal game we do.
Okay.
And that's what their education does inside of us.
Okay.
Like we gotta start pinpointing what does their education do to us.
So we turn the other cheek with the system, but we want an eye for an eye from our brothers and sisters.
Can't nobody lay a hand on my child.
Yeah.
My child been not calling me about nothing.
Eye for an eye.
And hey, here's a call out. Our children are being everything in the school system.
Yeah, turn the other cheek. Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nothing. It's weird.
Qiana, you had something on that?
I think it goes with comfortability.
Okay.
You know, when you're comfortable with somebody, you're more vulnerable. Show them other sides of you, and then when you're in public, you don't know the consequences of your actions, so you don't react that way. If that makes sense.
Say it one more time.
You don't know the so when I argue with you, I kind of know what the consequences of my actions is. So if I know how far it really gonna go.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
If it's somebody unknown,
you don't know how far it's gonna
go. I don't know how far it's gonna go. So sometimes people stop right there, and it's just another
familiarity breeds content. They say
it does.
Ooh.
You just we talk about it all the time in relationships. How like the person you lay next to see the good, bad, and ugly of you where other people do not, because it's the comfortability.
Wow,
bro.
All right, on a good note, on a good note, and I'm gonna need my stuff to help me out. We gotta give away today.
Okay.
We gotta have a giveaway today, Friday, and Monday.
All right.
All right. We are giving away fur bucks.
Okay.
In honor of Black History Month.
Talk to me.
Right? We have like $10, $20, $30.
Okay.
It's depending on like how complex our question is. So before the end of the day, we're gonna like throw a Black History fact or something, gonna come up with something. We need a caller to call in
Okay.
to answer this question. Just hot off the press.
Hot off the press.
So I'm throwing it out there right now. So just know that we're gonna have a question, and then we're gonna get your name and your number, and get back with you with the first book.
Okay.
It says
What's first book?
you get to go to Berg's and order food.
Oh, wow.
Shots out
the money you can spend at Berg's
Yes.
only.
Only at
Kings Bucks. No, we had Kings.
We had Kings Bucks.
What you know about that?
What you know about the Kings Bucks? Damian Davis says a lot of folks just complacent about the wrong thing. A lot of folks don't like to deal with uncomfortable.
And I was going to also add that really that our people have been conditioned, right, to pounce and attack on us, and rewarded for attacking us, and actually being penalized and punished, for being involved. And that's a lot back, like what Qiana was saying about the voting. Same thing about what's going on with the Uhuru and the dollars that was given then taken back. This is just the game that's been played on us, and we gotta overstand it and really,
Say overstand.
Yeah, we gotta overstand
because
it.
I think we've all talked about how like we'll be the first ones to condemn somebody, like to throw the stone. I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing
I ain't throwing the stone, and I ain't carrying the bone. See, a lot of times we don't throw the stone, but we carry the bone.
Caller.
Hello. Y'all hung up on me last time, but I was trying to drop some jewels.
Look, something happened with it. I don't know what happened with it.
You got 15 seconds. Hurry up, and I know you had 31 grand tonight.
Give me the jewels.
We ain't talking about that. But we ain't talking about that. But we ain't talking about that right now. Y'all come there. But I feel too. A lot of people don't know how to deal with humiliation. You got to look at yourself and be able to deal with uncomfortable situations and know how to be humiliated within yourself. Because you can learn from humiliation. Nobody like to be humiliated, but you got to deal with it from yourself. Once you can deal with the humiliation of yourself, you will start to change a lot of things about yourself.
I hear that.
And that's what I learned from comedy. And that's what comedy is my therapy. I can get up there and talk about myself, but it's really therapy because I talk about my problems and I'm getting it out and I'm dealing with it. So a lot of people need to learn how to deal with humiliation. And then, like I say, free coming tonight, 31 grand. Get that free entry. Y'all know what it is. Man, I love y'all.
Appreciate the call.
But you know what? I like what he just said. But it's kind of, it's that pride thing. You know what I mean? And you feel like if somebody check you in public, you gotta check them right back there. You know what I mean?
Oh man, we were just talking about this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think what he said too just gave me a different perspective on that word when we talk about humiliation. Because I was thinking humility, right? Because I think humility is a superpower, it's a strength. But again, the way that these words and the way that we've been impacted by it, like we don't want no parts of it, like because we've interpreted being humble as being weak. We've interpreted humiliation as being, something other than what it is, and like there's not a spot.
Life or death.
It's not a moment to grow from. And
that's
so
why
I think it's just redefining words and all that good stuff.
I love it,
and that's why it's good to just be able to flip the pancake over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because in science, right, y'all, there's nothing that has a negative charge only. Everything in existence has a positive and a negative to it. And so when we look at like what Damon was saying just then, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to be humiliated, I guess publicly, it helps you in your private life.
And being able to stand it, right?
Yeah,
sit in it. Yeah, being able to actually sit with these things and listen to the critics. So I was on a panel and they was asking me about that, about how you deal with your critics. It's like, number one, I really don't. But also I listen and I pay attention to the criticism. But, and again, all criticism ain't constructive. But it's all about how you take it. You know what I'm saying? And the business that we in, and especially being out front and public figures, you have to be able to take plenty.
But I just want to just big up my grandma like I always do, man, because I appreciate the thought process that she installed inside me. You know what I'm saying? When I watched her tell my cousin who was a booster, You know what I mean? Don't take my car today because I got don't take my car to work today. Well, mama, I ain't got no job. She said, well, no, hold on. Everything you do 40 hours a week is a job.
Okay.
You know
Say
what I
that
mean?
again. Everything
that you do for 40 hours a week is a job.
Okay.
And so I learned vicariously, or subliminally to not judge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you got majority of people around us being Christian based and they're saying that we should be judging each other, I walk in that frequency. And so if I'm clipping at something, I promise you we won't clip at nothing and judge anything. But man, the corrections gotta be made.
You have to if you want to be better. Like, how can you be better without being corrected?
You got to track it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do with weight loss and everything.
The best of the best always still have trainers. Sierra is what? Serena is the best tennis player in the world, right?
Yeah.
And
she still has a coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always went to Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like MJ, like this man is the greatest basketball player at all times, and dead times out. You know what I'm saying? They went to the huddle to get to play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you have to have the plan, which is what the play is, and go out there and execute. You know what I mean? But
oh no, this is good because this is bringing me back to the conversation about the message and the messenger. So when we talk about being corrected, sometimes that correction may come from a place that you don't want it. So it may be.
That's what I talked about before we left.
It may be good correction, but because of the person that's doing the correcting, you can't.
Can I say something? Because that's what I was talking about before we left, and the most important part about it, because the owner can learn from the janitor, right?
That's right.
Right. The doctor can learn from the patient. Right. And to be a great doctor, you have to learn from the patient.
That's right.
So a lot of times we're in the community where we're not respecting where we learn it from. Right. And I deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell somebody something that they don't want to hear from me.
Right.
You get what I mean? And I see it in your eyes. I can tell it in your temperature. I can see it on the phone.
Real facts.
That sometimes some of the best things that we have to offer, the best we can learn, will come from a very unlikely source, like our child.
I want to say that. I want to say that because
but go ahead.
No, because what you just said is real, and I've experienced it with you, and I've seen it. How do you keep going in spite of that? Because this stuff like that'll make people quit.
They do. I think
how do you keep going?
Not caring.
I don't.
The person that's judging,
that's a great question.
I know how he rolled though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you really got to understand that when we mission driven, you know what I mean, it's hard for you to be bigger than the mission.
Right.
It's hard for me to be shot at and then be in that stressful situation and then also apply what you're doing right now to that. It can't get the same frequency.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people be like, wow, man, I like how you responded to that. But the turntables might wobble, they never fall down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when people judge my dog, you know what I mean? I see it too. Like you say, we see it and we laugh.
Yeah.
So I say how you continue on with it to answer your question is because you know your purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you know why you're doing it and it's not coming from a malice place, then you continue. When you're trying to be hurtful and do some damage, that's when it penetrates you. It's something like when you are doing it with a purpose, you can kind of take those bullets because you know what the end goal is and you know you're trying to help and not be hurtful.
Ooh. The game said.
That's what I was thinking.
It went right back to game by being humiliated and being humble and being able to get back on stage.
Right, you know what you're doing it for, and that's what keeps you going on. And they did a whole TV show about this Undercover Boss.
Okay.
Ooh,
you know,
I love that show.
The Undercover Boss
I love that show.
And
just chill.
And went and talked to the employees and see what was wrong with their business.
That's how you see it.
Right. So there you go.
Just in the back.
You ain't no undercover boss. You up front, man. Trying to act like you ain't the boss. You know what I mean? That was awesome.
No, because that's real though. I mean, just like you said, because I've seen you say the exact same thing that I might say, and they receive it from me like, oh,
yeah. We done been in meetings, so we done did the tag thing, and then Brother John be like, oh, and he'll just reword it. And lay it back on the table. And just lay it right back on the table.
I mean, we see it with guys and girls. And he said.
Yeah.
We saw, I was saying something. Brother John said it. All the fellas was like, no. Brother John said it. And the fellas was like,
That's how you get the kids.
You gotta be able to speak the language of your constituents.
Yeah.
That's
You
real
do,
now.
That's real.
Because sometimes the language that we use is off-putting, as they say, or it's just a different language.
That's right.
And that's the other part of
off-putting.
That's the other part of.
I heard that before.
But that's the other part of humility, though, because no matter how it's being said, you have to be able to be intentional enough about what you're trying to do to take it. To take it from wherever it's coming, however it's said.
But okay, then, so that's on one side because it's two sides.
It's a bunch of sides. It's like
you got to understand that so the goal is to deliver the message.
That's what
right?
That's the goal.
That is the goal. And if you can't hear from me, and I need this message to be delivered, then I need to find the messenger that you will listen to.
I mean, that's real intentionality.
Let me take this from my wife. Look, she done chimed in on this thing. It says, it's hard and it hurts, especially from someone that's close to you. But it's others that's not so close to me that respect or value what I say or do, and it's humbling. So it's people who you think should
don't,
and the ones
people who do
who you
don't. I hear that. I hear that 1,000 times.
Here go the other flip side of the pancake. The people who know you, like you may be 100% genuine what you're saying, but you was passionate about everything else, and you did nothing with that passion over. This is why people. It's a track record with people who listen. They be like, great ideas, but I ain't feeling with this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you be wanting to support them, but you be like, hey,
you crazy.
Show up to, like, listen, I tell you, you want to go, show up at the train station, getting on the bus. And once you there on the train, then we talk. Don't talk to me about before you get there. Because you done had this conversation, you done had me hyped up. I'm ready to get you wherever you need to go, but you never make it to the train station. So listen, I'm going to support you as soon as you purchase that ticket and get on that train. I'm 100%.
I hear that. I mean,
that is
I hear that. Yeah, I hear that.
You also have the experience of where I think it's who people value information coming from.
If you have a suit on. So we talked about this yesterday, right? So if I deliver a speech or I deliver a conversation with a polo on, is one way. But if I come in, it's also a part of the European white supremacy. If I come in with that suit, the cleaner the better. You know what I'm saying? The tighter the better, actually. You know what I'm saying? The more fitting the better. And a person will listen to the same message that they wouldn't listen to with this tank top and t-shirt on.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Sometimes you got the wrong complexion for the connection. You
No, but you know what?
It don't matter what you have.
Like I said, that hurt. Because if you think about it, like I know what I know, and I know what I'm telling you is right. But you, because I mean, that's the thing. Like you know what you know, and you know what you don't know.
I know what I know.
So and there's some things that
I know
this, and I'm trying to tell you this, and you won't receive it
from me. Yeah.
But somebody else tell you the same thing, and it hurt.
I've lived that life.
They're close to each other.
But the closest don't mean nothing.
It don't mean
I'm
nothing.
gonna tell you.
That's problematic.
And literally say, hey, you remember I told you that? Remember I told you that?
But don't do that though. That's ego.
Oh no, that ain't ego.
Here we go. No. This is what it is.
I like when you do that thing to that. No.
It's parenting 101.
Okay.
You know how like I can come and you can tell your children something and they don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But you be like, yo, you tell the auntie to say it. The auntie come and they be like, yeah. Sometimes the message has to come from somebody else that's not attached to you. It does. This is
we can't be tiptoeing like that. Go ahead.
But you want the message to be received.
And I know that, and we're gonna talk about that because I got another story for that.
Go ahead.
So now I just feel like, man, is when you remove the ego from the situation and you have Qiana has an idea and Charles Soprano ain't really rocking with it, you know what I'm saying? Brother John come behind that right there and he's like, hey, you know, I got an idea, man, and it's the same thing, you know what I mean? And then we all jump on it. When the ego is flared up, that's when the ego is gonna say it has to be acknowledged. The ego wants to be acknowledged. So it's like, hey man, you know, I said the same thing a couple months ago. Well, in essence, when you're more spiritually endowed with yourself, you won't say anything because the thing that you want done is getting done. Okay. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's like,
or you spiritually endowed.
Well, I hear that.
Because your spirit got to be up.
I heard you.
Your spirit got to be
applying pressure this morning.
No, because it's easy to fall for the sucker stuff.
is.
You know what I'm saying? But when your spirit intact, you know what I'm saying, you kind of just slide by it. You don't even acknowledge.
I gotta work on my spirit because I do have a scoreboard, right? I keep a score.
Okay.
And I will say, hey, yeah, remember I said that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have a problem with people not listening to me and not hearing me from the original conversation. And so it makes me come back and say, hey, remember we was talking and I said that? Oh,
yeah,
what?
no.
And then what I'm trying to get you to do is
acknowledge
take my advice.
Yeah,
is listen. And so remember,
they are though. It's just coming. It's like, you gotta think about it. If you told me to go tell T something, it's getting done. It is your message. No, I hear you. So sometimes because the Wi-Fi is for real, sorry, brother. But Wi-Fi is for real. So sometimes the message does just come from someone else, and it's just the way they deliver it. They may receive it better, but it's still your same message. So when we don't anti the ego, the mission is still getting.
Listen, I agree with that 1,000%.
For me, I think the thing that we're not considering in this is time. Because it's not instant. Like you might say something that can cause you to avoid some pain and some suffering. And you go through pain and suffering unnecessarily, and then somebody else will tell you the same thing I told you on the other side of the suffering. That's the hurt. It ain't like, okay, I just told you, you ain't listen to me, then you just went and did it when somebody else told you. No, I told you something because we're close and I care about you, and you didn't take it from me, so you suffered as a result of it. Then somebody else come and tell you what I told
and then
you.
Go and do it.
And you're like, oh yeah, you know what?
But we cool on that though. No, we cool on that because we are the architects of our own headache, and that's what they created, their own headache.
But when you love somebody, you don't want
we cool. But remember, we can't control nothing. We can't control our own seeds.
What we can do is
not outside your skin.
We can use our influence and control the things outside our skin. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what our goal is. You know what I'm saying? If we kicking in, we talking about saying, and my goal is to help you. Hey, yo, make this move. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I can't do it right now. Dang, bro, you should have made that move 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should have been on, and it ain't because I'm gloating or trying to be, I'm bigger. But like, hey man, come on, catch on.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need
it's like a report card.
So I think sometimes you do need to call it out, right? And be like, because it makes the process smoother so
You're
that
trying to
make it smoother so that you don't have to go through it the next time. Because like
exactly.
if we're in here talking and I ignore you and then we done went through all this, I done hit 5 bumps that I could have been avoided by just kind of listening to you, and then you bring it back up because you be like, yo, Brother John said that after the 5 bumps, and I was trying to prevent the 5 bumps. If we're truly connected, I'm gonna sit down and listen like, dang, you're right.
And I know what Ray was saying too about the ego and the acknowledgement. And it's also sometimes it's just that moment where I want you to be able to see me as a credible source.
Right.
That's it.
Like, because I'm telling you something that I know
that's verified.
But that's your ego operating though.
It's verified.
It's not a bad.
Ego ain't all bad.
Don't receive it as a bad thing.
No, ego ain't all bad.
Because on the ego wants to be acknowledged. People do stuff without being acknowledged. That's not everybody.
I think,
but this ain't all about acknowledgement. It's also
it is when you're saying that you want people to know that you're a credible source. That's acknowledgement.
Especially like I use my child.
We can word it a lot of ways.
Just like with my child.
I think it's
I'm
not trying to force agreement.
Once it go through and he has the bump. And I said, hey man, listen, remember I told you not to go and do that?
Yeah.
That's not gloating. That's not my ego. This is a review of what just happened.
Now you're bringing in another talking point because that wasn't the talking point we was using. We was using like credible sources.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I get it because I'm building to be a credible source for my child.
Right.
And I'm showing you. So I need to show you. Remember, I told you to put the helmet on so you didn't bump your head. Right. Remember, I told you to put the knee pads on so you didn't break your knees. Okay, then. So boom, that was just a review. I'm not gloating because you bumped your knee and you ain't listen. Yeah. No, I need you. So when I tell you to put the seatbelt on, you jump in and put that seatbelt on.
Yeah,
definitely. You get what I'm saying?
That's not an ego-driven thing.
Yeah, that's not.
I want you to value the information that I'm giving you.
Now put it in the context of what we were saying earlier. That's when it's ego. Not when you deal with your child. No one's saying that.
A friend, a relationship partner, anybody.
The context of what you was putting earlier was when you was like when we were saying we see you get disrespected.
I think we still building, and as long as we say that we building and we moving this conversation forward, like what in that moment, that's what it was. But now there's nuances and there's other aspects of this same dialogue that we're making observations about. And I think that's what happens too. That's what causes arguments, because like, well, what you said earlier, okay, well, that was earlier. Now we still moving. The conversation is still building, it's still evolving, and it's still growing. And that's the thing about harmony. Like, you don't just start off with the T and stay on that note.
No.
You
progression,
different notes. And
you adjust accordingly.
And you adjust accordingly so that you can stay in harmony. But a lot of times we want to stay on one note, and it's like,
stay on that bad pitch note.
Yeah. and it may be a good note, but it's just the timing of that note is like, okay, it's time to move to this next note and sing it in this way. So we got T want to call in. T said, great combo. What's the number? I put the number up for you to call. It is What's on Your Mind Wednesday. So
what's on your mind, my brother?
You got to ask Qiana.
I do.
Okay.
I do have an Ask Qiana. Let's find
Ask
Qiana. So, Qiana. look.
Well, that's no T.
Is that T?
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, caller, you're on the air. What's on your mind? It's What's on Your Mind Wednesday.
Good morning. What's going on, team? How y'all doing?
Real good.
Hey, man, real like King T in the building. This is the city ambassador, y'all. What
ambassador.
What's good, man? What's on your mind?
No, man, y'all. Great conversation this morning, man. Great conversation. I just want to chime in and say, hold on one second. I just want to chime in and say, because I had y'all playing in the background, but
okay.
Let me just say this. People have to realize that the ideas that they may have, that they bring to people, that they, have conversations about, those take, like you guys were talking about, it takes time to actually develop the process to put those ideas together. I had to realize that as a volunteer, right? Because I had a lot of ideas that I thought that.
We gotta fix it. Wow. Because deep and we touching on the subject that and we want to talk about. We want to hear our callers for more than 30 seconds too, man.
Go in, T.
What I was saying,
come on.
Okay.
We got it. Go ahead, T.
Yeah, so again, just had to realize that, being a good volunteer, man, you're going to have ideas that you want to run by leadership, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in order to be a good leader, in order to be in their position, you have to learn how to actually delegate, how to be patient, how to be a good listener first, right? So I realized that, before I came up with, ideas or feelings, right, of anger and different things like that, because I ran through those ideas throughout the process of talking about some of the ideas that I had and putting some of the ideas that I had on the table for the city and different programs and different things like that. So understanding that my place, right, wasn't my time at the time for that to take place. So people have to actually have some type of self-confidence within themselves to keep that mission and that particular goal in mind and stay on the course. Because one thing you can't do is you can't get sidetracked by people's inability to see your vision or your goal. You can't get sidetracked with that. You have to continue to keep that going. And with the book club, it has helped me to flourish and help me to build more around teams, because I can't do this by myself. So I had to find people that bought into my vision, my leadership, and my mission, right?
Right.
After all of the explaining, after all of the crying and conversations and moments of when I felt, because I did feel like people wasn't listening, right? However, it was like a pebble I was throwing in the lake. That's what I felt. That's what I realized. It's like a pebble that I was throwing in the lake that had a ripple effect.
That's right.
And eventually, over time, the ripples became waves. So I just tell people right now, and I encourage people to keep your dream alive. Keep your hopes and your vision alive, because one day, and I promise you, one day your vision will come to fruition. But you got to be the one that believes in it, no matter what.
That's right.
No matter what.
Got your dreams, man.
No matter what. You got to believe in that, no matter what. So you know, that's my words for the day. My wisdom talk for Wednesday, wisdom, whatever y'all call it. But
what's on your mind Wednesday? We appreciate you dropping what's on your mind.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's what's on my mind, man. I love y'all, boy. I love you. Y'all have a great morning, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, love you too.
Oh man, I live a lot in that.
The city ambassador.
Got a sunshine ambassador.
That's big, man. I want to say big shout out on T Brown, Book Club, everything y'all doing. Major respect.
Real deal. I asked Qiana. So Qiana, your significant other have a child, and your significant other asked for a paternity test. Ooh, would you oblige?
Yep.
Why? Explain.
Would you be mad?
Nope.
No,
hey man, she ain't mad.
I mean, feelings get involved because you be like, hey, we done been like, how you don't trust me? But listen, get a paternity test. It is what it is. Just do it. If you don't got nothing to hide, you know what I mean? Just do it. That's just it. Just do it.
Okay, I hear that.
Yeah, that's real simple. Yes.
So you cause more problems by questioning why you want it and what you're thinking and kind of reading all of that stuff.
You know, so people take that as like you're like, hey, you don't trust me. And I mean, honestly, at this point, we talk about infidelity across the board, and it happens.
So let me ask you this: what would make somebody ask for a paternity test?
Family.
Okay. Third party.
It's the third party. It's usually the third party. Your
like
friend,
we might be good, but
we
somebody
might be
else
good,
saying,
you know, I see such and
so
such.
that would make you ask for
Yeah,
paternity
because
test.
usually, or if you're confident in something and you be like, you don't need a third. You listen, if you're secure, you say, hey, this is my baby.
Yeah,
you don't paternity test.
That's what I'm saying. What would make somebody ask for
a third party. It's a third party.
Man, what if the man want to go and get a genealogy or something? Yeah, it don't have to do with like all that. It's not always a conspiracy.
I don't think she was saying it always is, right, Q?
I'm just saying some people can be going for other reasons.
Because we
I'm just saying, you know, some people have had adverse experiences. He probably was a child that didn't know his daddy.
Okay.
Right? And he didn't know his daddy, so they got a blood test when he was 25. So before the child get 25, they get the blood test, baby.
Okay. So
so
your personal experiences could be driving you to also.
So this is what
if I was going on child support, I have to get the test.
So what did they say? Mama's baby, daddy's baby, right?
We got a whole. We
talk about that.
I did not remix anything.
There's two
reinterpreted.
So here we go. Two interpretations of that is that mama's baby, daddy's baby is that usually when the mama had a baby, she the one that stuck with it. The daddy come in and out, and
the daddy may or may not be.
Right,
this is the new image project.
That's the old school.
What daddy's baby.
The new international version is what mama was doing to make your baby.
No, that's real.
But
what if mama said that baby don't look like you?
And that's what happens.
Hold on. It is literally impossible for it to maybe be my child if she's not sleeping with more than one man. No, it is impossible for it to maybe. It is impossible to maybe be my child if she's not sleeping around. If she's sleeping with me, that's always my child. That's why it's a maybe, because they are highlighting their activity and we ain't looking at it that way.
Yeah.
Well, when
you go to new international version, old school version is what you said.
The new image project.
Because here's the thing, where you put that maybe matters.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing. So that maybe, sometimes that maybe, and most times, the maybe is on the man. What Reno introduced to the conversation is the maybe can also be applied to the female.
So I'm
always. No, it wasn't always. And I'll say it because we said mama's baby. That was period.
Right.
That's how they.
And then they said daddy's maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe was applied to us as though we may be here or we may not be here, but the mom is the stable daddy.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that it might be your child, it might not be your child.
Okay, so that was the aspect.
That's still though. That's still all.
So that's what I say. So there you go.
There's two places you can put the
so,
maybe.
Right.
Male
so
and female.
Type deal.
Right. Can we agree on that?
New international version.
Can we agree on that?
King James version.
And that's how
The NIV.
that's how I started it out. And there's two versions. It has
Thank
two
you.
meanings.
Thank you.
Right? And I was going with both of them.
Right.
So I mean, honestly, I don't have no problem with it.
I'm telling you, I
and
mean,
then I tell because true story, I have a friend that was married, and you know, whatever happened,
and the baby one here.
and the baby ended up not being the, you know what I mean? But they survived.
Yeah.
They survived. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
God
she
bless.
she looked at because she, you know, she had boys, she had girls, and she looked at her boys and was like, take me as an example.
Okay.
I'm a good person, but good people sometimes mess up.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
hardcore.
And you know what? That's
That's hardcore.
you know what I mean? This is like you can say whatever. It's life.
Whoa.
Like,
You can say what you want to say.
no, life. So this is what happened. Life happens.
No, that's right.
It's right though.
That's right.
Life happens.
And glad they got that doggone paternity test.
It's life.
So you can figure it out and take a choice.
So did she initiate the paternity test because she knew she was a baby?
Okay, so here you so she did. So what happened
Oh,
is
she's like just waiting.
That's a
Brother
good
John asked.
That's a good person.
Hold on, y'all.
That's a
Brother
good
John
person.
asked some of the most solid
so
questions.
here we go. In reality, in my mind, she waited out to just see who it was. Right.
That sounds like
right
life.
here.
You said it was like
It was like I'm praying this over here.
So that's gonna be a faithful baby because she putting a lot of prayer into.
But then when the baby got here, she realized like, yo,
yeah, it was clear.
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. But you want me to tell you, throughout everything, she tried to juggle, you know, both situations, but it didn't end up happening. And then one had to be completely severed because one wasn't really invested
on the other side of the baby.
On the other side of the baby. The daddy maybe didn't really want, you know.
She
what
handled
I mean?
the mama's maybe, but the daddy maybe.
And so you know what happened. Regardless, is that you know truth. It hurts, but it builds a good foundation, and you can't hold like a lie is jagged, and you can always go back there and remind you of the hurt. It's like a cut. When you rip somebody, that's the lie. When it mends, it doesn't mend smooth.
Right.
You always have a scar to remind you of it. When you're truthful, it's a straight cut and it mends, and you still know that it was there, but you have nothing there to remind you of the pain.
It's a sharp knife, it's a dull knife.
Yes.
Okay.
So it hurts. It hurts, but it mends different.
All right, so that was Ask Qiana. So if y'all have an Ask Qiana question that you'd like to submit, you can put it in the inbox of the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, y'all.
So if you've been listening the whole time, right? Because we got to give away some Ferg bucks.
Yes.
Who
is the Black History figure that we talked about this morning in our opening?
Oh, I remember.
Who was the Black History figure? We said her name about 10 times.
Yeah, I made you.
So who was the Black History figure that we mentioned?
And
this
if
morning?
you can't do that, who is the Enoch Davis Center named after her?
Stop playing. What are we doing right now? What is for the kids?
I couldn't even get it out.
What is this for the kids? What? I'm talking about Paul White one. I'm like, never. What is this?
Enoch Davis Center. Enoch Davis.
Still wrong. Okay, now you're right. Now you're right.
Can I get 5 up? Let me get the 5 up.
Q on 5 on
Q on 5.
What did Enoch Davis do? How about that? What was his profession? What was one of the things that Enoch Davis
Doctor.
did? Yeah.
Enoch Davis Center.
We're not supposed to talk.
Oh,
wow.
It could have been pastor. It could have been reverend.
But somebody need to call
Reverend. It probably was Doctor
So
and
listen,
Reverend.
we don't have time. So inbox us the question answer.
Okay.
If you
Friday.
remember,
And then you can get the Ferg.
then you get the Ferg buck.
And
all right, final
let me
thoughts.
say Friday.
Friday. I'm calling in from the resort.
Okay.
Wow.
You not gonna be there
Friday?
No, not telling. No. I'm calling from the resort. It's a resort. I'm calling back from the resort.
Are you going on vacation?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
I'm calling from the resort on Friday. What that mean?
Final thoughts. Look, you can either Rubik's Cube and try to figure it out, or you can just.
Hey, I'm still like, man, hit the resort, man.
You like that?
final thoughts, man. Do me a favor, y'all. If you hear my voice, right? So go ahead and hit one of your uncles up, right? Right, one of your daddy brothers, or one of your mama brothers. You know what I'm saying? And see what he need help with. You know what I mean? And help Unc out. It's Unc.
Love that. Love that.
Pay attention, y'all. Moving through the whole family, right?
Yeah.
Whole
It was
family.
favorite auntie on my.
It was auntie.
It was child first. It was see what your child needs first.
Yeah, the stuff we started.
And get her done.
I heard auntie on Monday.
Auntie
Monday.
Okay.
That's wrong.
That's what's up.
Okay.
Final thought.
Final thought. 31 grand a night.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for something to do, Damon Davis, you know his comedy show, free. Come on in, support it. He say, she say it's coming up on the 3rd of March. Make sure you're in the building. Be the change you want to be. Write down those 5 things that made you laugh, giggle, smile, made you feel good. Melted your heart. 727 Story is out there. If the kids are looking for something to do, they are hiring. That is my spiel for today.
All right, Mr. Edmond, final thoughts.
Final thought is this is something for y'all to ponder on. What do they call trailblazers before the trail is blazed?
All kind of slanderous stuff.
Ooh, what do they call trailblazers before the trail is blazed?
A lot of people gotta understand.
They call them crazy.
That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people gotta understand that your calling wasn't a 3-way call, y'all. People ain't supposed to understand your calling, y'all. I'm gonna post that. Right now. It wasn't a 3-way call, y'all.
My final thought is, man, there's more needs to be done. It needs to be said, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with us, riding with us, donate to the 99 Jams Marathon fundraiser, and keep going. Let's keep going. This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is the one and only Mr. Edmond.
Qiana.
Hey man, it's your brother Reno Moore in the building,
and we believe in do good.